Today, we're talking about your door to freedom. Jesus used such simple and everyday words in teaching the truth that he says sets us free from what seems to be the outer forces of the universe, the outer. And so today I chose scripture from the 10th chapter of John. And first off, I want to back up a little bit. Several years ago, and I know that Rick remembers, the young adult group at Royal Oak Unity put on a retreat at our headquarters down at Unity Village. And I don't recall the exact title, but it was Going Through God's Other Door, or Doors, wasn't it, Rick? Mm-hmm. And so as I hadn't thought about that for quite a while. And as I was preparing this lesson this week, that came to mind. I thought, my goodness, many years ago, that the group from Royal Oak, young adult group, put on this retreat, and it put the young adults back on the map as far as Unity was concerned. So I was real proud of our folks. But anyway, so your door to freedom, 10th chapter of John, we find these words: I am the door. If anyone enter by me, he will be saved, and will go in and out and find pasture. Very simple. I am the door. I am the door. How familiar a door is. You probably used several doors this morning. Several doors. And we know that Jesus didn't mean that this in a literal sense, okay? There is always a message behind the message. So, but it is in a very symbolic sense, okay? We go through many, 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 many doors. We all went through many doors this morning. And we'll continue to go through many doors this afternoon, tomorrow, and the next day, and on and on and on. What does the door symbolize, or what does the door represent? For one, a transitional point. Okay? Transitional point. A door is that specific point where you leave one room, go into another one. Or where you leave the inside and you go outside. So, in a mental area, a door would represent a point where you leave one state of mind, one state of consciousness, or one way of thinking, one way of feeling, and enter a new one, perhaps a different one. Jesus speaking from the Christ, that I am the Christ, the perfect idea in man, and we all have that perfect idea within us, that perfect idea of man that God created, and enfolded in every person. And this Christ, this perfect idea, is really saying, I am the Christ of you, of me, of all humankind. Okay, I am. It's the way you move from one state of consciousness to yet another one. From perhaps a limited state of consciousness to an unlimited state of consciousness or of awareness. For instance, for a limited state of consciousness, we mean a belief in illness. Excuse me. A belief in illness. Sometimes we say, I am sick. Or a belief in lack. I am hopelessly in debt. Or, by an unlimited state of consciousness, we mean a belief in an unlimited state of consciousness. We we others believe in the harmony with the eternal, unchanging truth about you, about me, about everyone, the unchanging truth, such as I am healthy, I am whole, I am in harmony with the universe, I am continuously supplied from that storehouse of God. So, right here is where I would like to remind you and me also. When I say you, I also mean me, you understand. I'm not just pointing a finger out here. Me also. That the I am in you and in me is the Christ. That perfect idea of God. That God created us whole, free, unlimited. So the Christ is your spiritual self. No one can say, I am for you or for me. We're the only ones that can say, I am. And really, we need to be very aware of what we're attaching our spiritual self to. I am is your spiritual name. Okay? I am is my spiritual name. Is your spiritual name. I cannot say it for you. You cannot say it for me. My spiritual name. Yours. So right here is the I am, is the Christ. The Christ is your spiritual self, your spiritual name. The point where this universal spirit or God becomes individualized in each one of us. God is not up there someplace or over there or whatever. God indwells His universe, and we are a very important part of God's universe. So God is individualized in and through us as us. We don't always know it. We don't always act like it. But that doesn't take away the truth, the Christ presence, our spiritual self, our God self, our higher self, however you want to think about it, however you want to bring that into your consciousness. The pure I am is you, an eternal, deathless, ageless, unchangeable. It is what you choose to add or attach to this I am that modifies or that limits, that puts you in a box, puts me in a box. And then it begins expressing that thought, that idea begins expressing through us. So if you add the belief of being sick, okay, to your I am, it expresses I am sick. And you are. If you attach or add the belief, I'm handicapped because of my background. Okay, I am. It expresses as I am handicapped, and I am. I am limited. I put myself in a box. Okay, we don't have to stay there. We do not have to stay in that box because God we've always given the choice. Always given a choice. Change our thinking changes our life. Change our thinking, it changes our health, our beingness. Okay? So when Jesus states, I am the door, He's saying, I am, the I am in you is the door, or the way, or the point, if you will. The passage out of perhaps painful bondage in the box, being in the box, and into a new consciousness and a brand new experience of freedom. Freedom from the past. Freedom from the illusion that we're only physical. That's an illusion. There's so much more to all of us than just the physical. Okay? So an example. Say you're in a depressed physical sensation of tiredness and no energy, and on and on and on and on and on. All this kind of stuff. You probably say to yourself, how in the world can I ever move out of this? Okay. How in the world am I going to move out of this, what I'm experiencing this here? Well, that's one of the challenges here. That so often we look outside of ourselves for the answers. We can go, and I'm not saying this is not right for you. I'm saying we have a choice always. We can go to the doctor and get a pill to pop that maybe will help with depression, but it's temporary. It's temporary. There's all sorts of things in the outer that we can do. And if that's what you need, that's fine. I'm not saying don't. I'm just simply saying that use what you know about your spiritual self, along with whatever you're led to accept, to take. So we when we can and when we do turn away from the compulsive attachment to what's out there that I can get. Okay, what kind of a pill, what kind of a this, what kind of a that can I get from out here in the outer, when we can turn away from that as the only means to help? Okay, there's alternatives. Okay, there's alternatives. When we can turn to the spiritual realm, and I said the other day, last Sunday maybe, I don't know, maybe it's the Sunday before that, and Sunday before that, and Sunday before that, I don't remember. However, that we are first a spiritual being, living in a spiritual universe governed by spiritual law. We are here in the physical. But first, we are a spiritual being. So what does that say? It says to me to look on the inner, ask for divine guidance, inspiration, whatever, in the inner, and then follow what we need to do. Okay? Then do. Once we receive direction, once we receive answer, once we receive the inspiration, whatever it is, then move out on it. So the door, to me, is the way out of this condition. The door, okay, of anything that we may be faced with. It doesn't matter. There is a door that we need to go through, and that door is in consciousness. It says, I am the door, okay? The I am is the door that we need to go through to get out of misery of whatever we're in, whatever we're faced with. And we ask and we become quiet so often, so very often. We ask, Father, show me. Show me the door that I need to go through. Not just look through, go through the consciousness. Going through the lesser to find the greater. Father, show me the door. Then become quiet and listen. And don't continue to tell God what you need and what you want and how to do it. You see, so often, that's what we do. Say, Father, show me. Okay, well, maybe I should do this. Maybe I should do, the other. Okay. No, we're trying to tell the infinite intelligence what we want. Don't you think God, that Spirit of God, that's all in all, knows better for us than what we, person, knows? I like to believe that. So we get quiet, and I heard a Unity minister say a long time ago, several years ago. He said, sometimes I speak to the subconscious, and I just got the biggest bang out of it. However, it holds a truth. And I wrote this down, found it on a piece of paper in my files. It says, this is what he says. He says, I sometimes say to my subconscious level of mind, now listen, subconscious, do what I'm going to say and think and feel because I need your help and cooperation at this time. Okay? And that's not all bad. That's really with it. Okay? Then I say, I am strong. I am strong. I am energetic. I am whole. I am at peace. I am prospered. Whatever you want to attach, that is absolute, right, and good and lasting. Remember, you have to go through the door, okay, in consciousness. Go through the door, close the door on the lesser, and move on, move through to the greater. Sometimes there's been a couple times that I've given an affirmation to someone to work with, and I always say, this has to fit you. This affirmation, this statement of truth has to fit you. So reword it. Do whatever you need to do. And don't just la-di-da-di-da, la-di-da-di-da every time you think about it. Feel it. Say it. Internalize it until it becomes a part of your new experience, the new I am experience. Okay? Oftentimes, we get into the habit of just repeating words because we're familiar with them and they feel good and I don't have to do much work. That doesn't do it. That doesn't do it. You have to put and know that what you're saying is based on the I am part of you, that spiritual part of you, and it carries power. It carries power. So you enter the words and let them enter you, in other words. And chew them. What does this mean to me? What does this mean to me? Does it mean anything? If it doesn't mean anything, then find something that does. Some positive, something that does. What does it mean to me? What is it saying to me? Is it lifting me, or am I just at the same? What is it saying to me? So, chew them. Chew the words up. Digest them. Relish them. Just like food for the body. Okay? This is food for the soul. This is food for the soul. Then Jesus said, if you keep my words, and here's a big if. If. Okay? It didn't mean to keep them in a box. Okay? Or write them out and hang them on a wall someplace. He said, keep my words. Where do we keep the words? Where do we keep the freeing words of Jesus Christ? In our heart, in our subconscious, deep within us. Keep the words. Keep them deep in the subconscious so that they're there readily to be called forth at any time. At any time, under all circumstances. Any circumstances. I am the door if anyone enter by me, if, as I said before, if. We have a condition here, okay? If. God has already done perfect work. And Jesus is saying, if we do this. Okay, if. Frequently, we don't take the responsibility that's ours. And the responsibility that's ours is to know the I am and speak the I am only in positive, good, lasting, loving, sustaining words. Okay? Attached to that. So, I'm a spiritual being, for instance. I am a spiritual being. We can also say, I am an expression of God life. I am an expression of God life. And I will manifest the perfection of God, regardless what the condition might be. You see, we so often stay in a condition, stay in a consciousness that perhaps, we like to say, who gave it to me? Who gave me this? And I accepted it. Who offered me this consciousness that is not based on the spiritual? And I accepted it. Doesn't matter who did it, who offered it, but I accepted it. So we're learning how, as I said before, to say no. Okay. And then Jesus continues, and if then you will, he says, the Bible verse says, he will be saved. That, years ago, that word saved used to turn me off. Okay. I have learned that it's a good word. It's okay. It's fine. Because somebody can be saved from a burning building. I don't know, saved from a mistake or saved from some sort of trouble. It's okay. It's okay. So this is what Jesus is saying, We can be saved. Saved from what? Saved from the lesser. Saved from some of the discomforts and harmonies, etc., etc., etc. Through your I am, through my I am. There's a story about Sarah. And Sarah is very, very miserable. It's an example, okay? She's very, very miserable. She hates her job. Her husband takes her for granted. The children are driving her up the wall. She compulsively reads everything she can about breast cancer and worries about it. Indecisive whether she should go to the doctor and be checked or do this, do that, okay? Back and forth and around and around. And then she's also worried about her face and her figure. She's getting older, getting some wrinkles, putting on some weight. Oh, wow. Now what? So it's obvious that she needs to be saved from. Yeah. She may be living in a beautiful home, but she may be living in a beautiful home. But what is the inner, where she's living on the inner level, of her mind is painful and it's dark and it's not pleasant. It's depressing. You may even say it's a prison. So humanly, we believe that change must begin in the outer. How many times, don't answer me, but how many times have we tried to change things in the outer? And I've said this before. We have got everything stacked up and turned our back and it fell apart. One more time. Don't answer me. So if the children, if Sarah's children would be model children and her husband would be more attentive and more romantic and more whatever, if she could find another job where she could express the qualities that she feels as though she has and unable to express, if she could afford an expensive facelift, okay, and go into the gym and whatever needs to, all that kind of stuff, then boy, she'd be right where she belongs, right? The change begins in the inner, not the outer. You can't make anybody do what you want them to do. Okay? She can't make her husband be more attentive and romantic and all. She can't make her children behave like she would, like model little children. The outer is the effect. The inner, folks, is the cause. The outer, what we're looking at, is the effect. The inner is the cause. You can blast away at the outer effect. However, if you haven't changed the inner, the I am, it's not going to last out there. The change is not going to last out there. The change has got to take place on an inner level. The door is there. Jesus said, the door, open the door and go through it. So, Sarah begins her new life because she has discovered that I am the door, I am. And so she opens the door out of the mental and into the spiritual. The door to change. The door to freedom. So remember, Jesus said, I am the door. And every one of us has that door within us. I am the door. Means I am in you is the door, the passageway. From one mental state to another one. It's up to us. No one else. It's up to us. If anyone enter by me, the conditional clause here is if. Spiritual law only works if we work it. And how many times have I said that? Spiritual law only works if we work it. And so when the mental conditions are established, if you enter, if you affirm, I am a child of God. I am at peace. I am. Then it says he will be saved. He will be saved means rescued, protected, led, guided, given a new chance, in other words. And we'll go in and out and find pasture. Okay? In and out. Be in the world, but not of it. And Jesus made this very, very clear. We live in a world, but we don't have to be of it. And everything that happens out here, we accept as right and good and whatever, because that's not the way it is. It's not the way it is. So, in the physical world, there are many, many questions. In the inner world of spirit, there are all the answers. All the answers. Any answer that we may ever need. In the outer world of effect, there are needs. On the inner world, on the inner world of spirit, there is total supply. So let's take a moment. And I'd like to invite you to take the next few moments and maybe a deep breath. And as we breathe in, know that you are breathing in the breath of God, the inspiration. God gave each one of us the breath of life. And as we exhale, we let go of anything lesser than God life. So we inhale and exhale. And we relax from the very top of our head down to our toes. And for just a moment, maybe you'd like to take inventory. Are you relaxed? Say to yourself, am I relaxed? I am in the presence of pure being. I relax my facial muscles. Move through my body temple, my arms, my hands. Relax. The abdominal area, relax. Down. Through our legs and our feet, relax. We're in a safe place. We're accepted and we're loved just the way we are. Relax. And we rest momently with God, that infinite intelligence, with a deep, deep gratitude, we say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Father. And as we let go, whatever needs to be done today, whatever is ours to do, we can always return to this. I am a child of God. I am one with the one. I am at peace. I am whole and free. thank you. We pray in the name and through the power of our elder brother, Jesus Christ.